Hi everyone, this is Kat at Kat Reviews Books. This will just be a quick intro and some short reviews for the first two books I've already finished for the year. And in case you're watching this in later years, the year is 2025. So, for those of you who don't know me already, I was originally on TikTok. I usually just kind of post sporadically. I don't typically stick to a consistent schedule or anything. I was posting a lot of book wrap-ups for quarterly reviews, which just short, little, hey, here's a quick thing about what the book's about, here's why I liked it, here's my rating, here's why I didn't like it, etc. And then I also had a lot of book mail content because I have this earring lady. Her name is WTB Customs on Instagram. You could also go to WTBcustoms.com. She literally will make custom-made earrings. She makes custom-made necklaces for any little book you want. So if you have a favorite book and you're just like, I don't have enough merch for this, you could literally go get some. She also does charms, pins, and a couple other things, so definitely check her out. She's also recently been getting into posting reviews. I do believe she is moving to Instagram right now from her TikTok account. So you could definitely check her out there. So I will also pretty much just be sporadically posting on here. I'm hoping to actually get into some more reviews this year rather than just letting them pile up and doing them quarterly, because I feel like I lost the plot for a lot of them, unfortunately. And then if anyone else has any content they want to see, I'd be more than happy to try to accommodate for that. If you guys want book hauls, or if you want to see my bookshelves or anything, I have over 300 books, just like the rest of us book nerds. We are out here collecting. So my first two books for the year were A Study in Drowning from Ava Reid, and I just literally finished right before recording The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. I have so much to say about this, but we're gonna wait on that. We're gonna start with A Study in Drowning. First off, she is a stunner. Literally, the Naked Book, also a stunner. So the fact that some people didn't pick it up for that alone is so funny to me from working at a bookstore, because I know so many people will come through the line and they'll be like, had some sprayed edges. I had to. I don't even read the genre. And I'm like, listen, I'll get you. So Study in Drowning, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Biggest issues were A, it's fantasy and it's not typically a genre I would read, and B, the main female lead, whose name is Effie, is she just makes a lot of stereotypical remarks and blunt remarks about the male lead, Preston, because they are from different countries who are at war with each other. And so she just kind of assumes that he's arrogant and kind of idiotic and things like that. It gets better towards the second half of the book. It's just a lot when you're first getting into it. So for that, plus the fact that it's not a genre I typically read, I knocked it down a star. But basically, the book goes through Effie's life. She has just gotten to college. She is the only female in her architecture class. She wanted to go into literature, but females aren't allowed to study literature at this point. So she went with something that she's like, I think I can manage this. Then she gets to go on this assignment. Basically, they have this contest with building a blueprint, basically, for her favorite author and their national author's redoing of his home. Now that he's passed, his son has gone out of his way to contract somebody to do it for him. So she gets there for the assignment because she is picked to find Preston, the male lead, there as well for a different assignment. He says that he's going to be documenting some letters. We find out later that's not exactly what he was doing, and I try to remain as spoiler-free as possible. I make no guarantees. But yeah, so she gets there, they're not getting along, they're arguing, and then they start discovering some things that are hidden. He gets Effie roped into it. Eventually, we find out that when Effie was younger, she started having these visions of the Fairy King. And so she starts seeing him everywhere. You immediately find out from the beginning that she has to take medication for it because she thinks that she's hallucinating. There is a twist at the end of the book. By the end of the book, Effie and Preston have come together, not only to work together, but also just kind of romantically. So there, like I said, is a twist, and there is set up for a second. I do believe that should be out maybe August this year, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. I will probably read the second one just because I feel like there were just some things missing from these characters. And I'm hoping that the second book will give me that. So, The Whispering Dark. Listen, I have already read Your Blood, My Bones from this author. I got it as an ARC at work, and I've just borrowed this copy from my coworker, and we're both super obsessed with Kelly Andrew. Speaking of her, we literally got an ARC for her new book today. I cannot wait. She is stunning. She is wonderful. I had already ordered a copy to the store for pickup when it came in. It comes out March 4th, but this is not about that book right now. Whispering Dark. There is so much to say about this book. It's definitely, you can tell it's the same author as Your Blood, My Bones because they are both such heavy topics. There are literally phrases that will make you scream throughout this whole thing. At one point, he says that he dragged himself out of hell for the female lead. He being Colton and female lead being Delaney, which I will get more into their characters in a minute, but that literally made me scream. I was feral when I tell you this. So, getting into Colton and Lainey. Lainey is our female lead. She is deaf, and she feels like at the beginning of her book that she is treated like a very fragile glass doll, especially by her parents, since she's deaf and she struggles with some things. When she's younger, she has sort of a traumatic experience where she finds a boy in ice, tells him that he needs to, get up, wake up, and then all of a sudden, the next moment, he's just gone. Her parents are like, this is weird, okay, kind of concerning, whatever. And then as she's getting older, following a boy through the woods by her house. There's just a lot of other weird stuff going on, but her parents are very, I wouldn't say necessarily helicopter parents, but they are definitely worried and overprotective, I would say, than most parents would be in your typical day and age. Then we have Colton, our main male lead. He is the boy that Lainey found in the ice. He later goes to the same college as Lainey, where they pay full tuition. They just have to study whatever the advisors suggest. And it's literally like a supernatural college to learn how to open worlds with your hands, and everyone's got selective powers and things like that. So it's definitely an interesting concept. There is a lot going on in this book, and like I said, it is very heavy. I will try not to give too much away, but this is me giving you a spoiler warning right now that I may give away the entire plot talking about this book. So bear with me here. If you don't want any spoilers, please stop. You can skip to the end of this video. Just stop watching, whatever the case may be. So basically, Colton is the TA for Lainey's classes with Professor Whitehall. And Colton pretends that he doesn't know Lainey. He's kind of a dick to her pretty much the entirety of the first half of the book. Eventually, he's drawn to her. He can't seem to stay away from her. He notices she's failing her classes, so he offers to study with her to help her get everything figured out and all that. So they start spending just a lot of time together. The whole time, Lainey is discovering these little things around the college. There's this place called Sanctuary where ghosts hang out. There's a wall that's basically marking people for death. A couple other things. Eventually, she does meet someone who is considered to be a ghost there. There is this group called the Priory, I believe it is pronounced, who are trying to become immortal, which is why they're going through worlds and they're going to hell and things like that. It's so much. By the end of the book, Lainey has accepted that something has come inside of her and is living sort of cooperatively with her. It hasn't killed her off as the host yet. It's just so much. But Colton eventually is finding this out, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna try to help you figure this out. And so they do a couple things to A, give Colton freedom, B, get the monster soul thing, whatever you want to call it, out of Lainey. By the end of the book, Lainey is like, well, I've already struck a deal with this thing, and so your understanding is that Lainey dies. But Colton, who's been marked as a demon boy, has given up some more of himself for Lainey. And when she gets, back from wherever she's gone, she's waking up in the hospital, and she's like, She goes, finds Colton, and she's like, you're different, but I still love you, and it's kind of where the book ends. I sort of felt a bit lackluster at the ending, I guess is the best way I can put it. It wasn't a bad ending, don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't know. With Kelly Andrews' other book, the ending, literally on the last page, had me screaming, what? Why? Why would you do this? So I was kind of expecting something similar here. And while I sort of got that, I didn't quite have it as much as I did for her other books. So, that one was a bit more spoilery than I had meant to be. Like I said, it's a very hard book to talk about. Kelly Andrew has some rough topics, a lot of things that make your skin crawl, and it doesn't help that she also has similar fantasy things going on. And like I said, it's not necessarily a genre I typically read. I just started getting into it last year, so a lot of this is new for me. I always find that Kelly's books are just a bit hard for me to get through, just because they're so heavy. It almost feels like I need to read something lighter alongside it. I didn't for this one. I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4 out of 5 stars, I think. It's the same rating I gave Your Blood, My Bones, only because it was so heavy and I was sort of struggling to get through it. Like I said, overall, good book. I cannot wait to read her next one that's coming out on the 4th of March. We will see how it goes. I have faith in Kelly to give me something beautiful, so I will of course post about it then. In the meantime, thank you for watching my video. I will be back when I have either some book mail or some more books that I've read, or if anyone wants to see anything, like I said, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching my intro. We'll see you later.